All right, everybody. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Hope you guys are doing well. Streaming with the Hawk's Nest in a few hours here. Going to go live at about noon. We're going to talk about the game that was, the Commanders game. We're going to talk about the game that will be, the Arizona game coming up here. And of course, we'll throw in a little bit of a trade deadline discussion since that just wrapped up a couple days ago. But before we get to any of that, we got some stuff to get through here. You guys know what we like to do on Thursday, Pass Coverage Thursday. Basically, just take a look at who is giving up what in coverage. This most recent game, this game against the Commanders, I mean, it was clean. It was clean, right? Washington made a couple plays through the air, but they were mostly inefficient when they tried to attack through the air. So nobody really got beat up too badly, but let's take a look at the numbers here right after the break. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you about Sleeper, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on sports games in real time with other users. You can get the fastest scores, blazing fast sports news and sports alerts right at your fingertips. And of course, you can use Sleeper to play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. This is the way sports were meant to be enjoyed together. So download Sleeper today. Use promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. And you can pair that with another promo they have right now where you can get a $20 entry free with no deposit required. So get both of those things going. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. So check out Sleeper today, get to it, and go have some fun with sports this year. All right, so linebackers, not much to say. Ernest Jones didn't really play much anyway, but when he did, he allowed one catch for 10 yards. That's really about all there is to say. He got targeted once, gave up 10 yards. Not much to say about it. He continues to be really effective in coverage numerically. Obviously, he's not actually a stellar cover linebacker, but he isn't getting exposed. He isn't. We're about halfway through the year. He's on pace for less than 500 yards when he's playing almost every snap. Well, I think about how much some of these linebackers that have come through Seattle over the last decade have given up in a season. Like Bobby Wagner would give up a lot. Jordan Brooks would give up a lot, and maybe those guys were more talented cover players. I know some would argue that, but they're certainly not giving up as much as Jones, or they're giving up way more than Jones is going to give up this year. Harry Knight, he got in the second half, of course, gave up one catch for 19 yards, I think it was. Coverage really been a problem for him so far this year overall. And remember, this is on a much reduced snap count compared to Jones, and he's given up actually way more. Still hasn't been targeted on an incomplete pass this year. It's unfortunate that this is where we are right now with Knight, but he has a chance to come back next year and improve. Probably lost this season to injury, and hopefully that's the case because I still do like him. Drake Thomas remains effective in coverage overall. Got targeted twice. I think it was one completion. Yeah, one completion for 7 yards. So nothing at the end of the day. And pretty much everything he's given up is yak, which I do think is better because it does indicate a lot of the yards he is giving up are not just his fault. Other players are getting involved in that as well. The air yards being so low, he's not getting attacked down the field, which is nice. So, I mean, this is kind of why he's out there more than anything else. He's better in coverage than Knight, and the numbers bear that out pretty easily. Sub 80 QB rating. The only edge rusher to get targeted this week was Nwosu. He got targeted twice, gave up one completion for 9 yards. Not much to say. Again, not really something that I'm looking at when I'm trying to evaluate the effectiveness of players because our edge rushers don't get targeted enough and they're not in coverage enough to have it really make a difference. Like if you combine our edge rushers this year, how often they're getting targeted in coverage, you add it all up, it's like 60 total yards over 8 games. That doesn't really mean much. And it's all yak also. Like all these guys have negative air yards, which you would expect. Okay, corner. Now we're getting somewhere with cornerback here. The numbers are different on PFR compared to PFF. They had Witherspoon giving up 3 catches on 3 targets for a grand total of 27 yards, which numerically isn't amazing, but it's certainly fine. And it's better than what he was last game he played against Arizona, where even though I didn't think he played badly, he did give up a lot. So kind of sort of back on track, but I know people are waiting for him to make a big play in coverage. They're waiting for him to force a turnover. And I know that there's some impatience around the fact that this guy isn't really taking the ball away. But I think that you have limited control as a cornerback over your ability to get turnovers and interceptions. And I still think Witherspoon's playing quite well, but he's got to bring this QB rating down. When targeted, quarterbacks have a QB rating of about 138, which is rough. Now, Reek Woolen, on the other hand, definitely trending in the right direction here. 3 targets, 2 completions, but only for 8 yards. So shutdown game for Reek Woolen. And it's, according to McDonald himself, one of the big reasons why he was not traded at the deadline. They like what he's doing right now. They think he's coming along. And I think, if I recall correctly, yes, it was all yak. The yards he gave up were all yak. So 89.6 QB rating when targeted. Remember where we were after one game. After one game, the QB rating against was perfect. So we're definitely trending in the right direction. Josh Jobe got targeted once in this game, gave up a 9-yard completion. Then he got the concussion, so we didn't get to see a lot of him. But still having a really good season, man. Still playing really well numerically, right? Sub 50 completion percentage when targeted. 287 yards isn't great on the surface of it, but when you've been targeted 54 times, it's really not that big of a deal. Pritchett got targeted once in garbage time, gave up a, what was it? 14-yard completion, whatever. Obviously, still not really playing that well, but there's not much to say about a sample size that small. The other corners did not play. Safety. By the way, I know that D'Anthony Bell played a little bit at the end of the game. He still has not been targeted this year, so I'm not going to put him here until he gets targeted. Also not getting targeted in this game was Kobe Bryant, according to PFR. According to PFR, no targets on Kobe. Eamon Worry was, if there's anybody on this team that got beat up a little bit in coverage, it's probably him. 4 targets, 3 completions. Let me make sure I get these numbers right. 31 yards. I think he gave up one of the big plays down the field to Ertz. So if there's anybody out there that gave up a little bit more than you might like, it's probably Eamon Worry, but it's still not that bad, right? Like, you're not even talking about 50 yards. You're not even close to 50 yards. Not that big of a deal. QB rating when targeted is now 101. Obviously, there are mistakes that he's making, as you would expect from any 21-year-old rookie, but overall, 21 targets, 98 yards allowed. If those numbers are accurate, you can't ask for too much better. Finally, Ty Okada, who made one of the plays of the year on the interception. Beyond the interception, he was targeted once, 1 completion for 9 yards. So definitely cleaning it up after a little bit of a rough start to the season. 102.2 QB rating when targeted now. And I mean, yeah, you can totally give up 9 yards in coverage if you're also going to make a play of the season type interception, for sure. All right, that'll do it. See you guys later. Go Hawks. More stuff coming soon. Check out the stream in about a little less than 3 hours.